The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Asbury Park Press and the Two River Times, and by posting at the Borough of Highlands Municipal Building and filing with the Borough Clerk, all on January 1st, 2024, and items listed in the agenda are subject to change. Pledge of Allegiance, please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I will now do roll call. Councilmember Cervantes.
Here.
Councilmember Chalak.
Here.
Councilmember Melnick.
Here.
Council President Olszewski. Mayor Bruin.
Here.
First, we have approval of minutes, February 7th, 2024, meeting minutes.
I'll offer. I'll second.
Councilmember Cervantes.
Thank
Councilman Chalak.
Yes.
Councilman Melnick.
Yes.
Mayor Bruin.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve February 7th, 2024, meeting minutes. Next, we have February 7th, 2024, executive session minutes.
I'll offer them. I'll second.
Councilmember Cervantes.
Thank
Councilman Chalak.
Yes.
Councilman Melnick.
Yes.
Mayor Bruin.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve February 7th, 2024 executive session minutes. Next, we have public hearing on proposed ordinance O2402, amending various provisions regarding buildings and housing throughout the Borough Code.
I'm opening up public portion. Do you have any comment on this ordinance?
I have no idea what
It's changing the fees at the building department.
the fees. Okay.
Yes.
I'm assuming they're going up.
Yes, they're in line with pretty much every other town in Monmouth County.
Really?
So seeing no other public comments, I'll close public portion and I'll offer this ordinance.
Councilmember Cervantes.
Yes.
Councilman Chalak.
Yes.
Councilor Melnick.
Yes.
Mayor Bruin.
Yes.
Motion carries. O2402 passed on second and final reading. Next, we have resolutions. R24066, authorizing an amendment to the 2024 temporary budget.
I'll second.
Councilmember Cervantes.
Yes.
Councilman Chalak.
Yes.
Councilman Melnick.
Yes.
Mayor Bruin.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt resolution R24066. Next, we have consent agenda. Mayor, would you like me to read the resolutions by title?
Yes, please.
R24067, authorizing the execution of a right-of-way agreement with the United States of America Department of the Army. R24068, authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for professional planning services in connection with the Central Business District Redevelopment Plan. R24069, approving change order number 1 for improvements to Veterans Memorial Park project. R24070, authorizing the award of a non-fair and open contract for professional engineering services in connection with the 2024 NJDCA Local Recreation Improvement Grants. R24071, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for the improvement of Frank Hall Park. R24072, amending resolution 2454 entitled approving request for waiver of alcohol ban for community center rental. R24073, approving first aid squad application. R24074, certifying and approving 2023 LoSAP contributions. R24075, authorizing payment of bills.
Before we vote on this, I just wanted to go, we'll do it first, does anyone have any questions? Because I was going to explain some of this.
Probably my question would be answered through the explanation of the
Okay, so the first one, R24067, that is a right-of-way agreement to allow the Army Corps to come and take soil borings from both Veterans Park and other areas of that are public lands, to give them permission to be on those lands to take soil samples.
That was my question.
The second one is the Central Business Redevelopment Plan. The planner And actually, pretty much everybody thinks that the plan is so chunky and confusing, and we wanted to make it easier so that we could get more businesses into the commercial business district, which is the reason for the redevelopment plan in the first place. So we're just gonna try to make it, tighten it up a little bit and make it more easily digestible. The change order for Veterans Park is, we purchased two of the water fountains, one for Vets Park, one for Huddy's Park. And so because we purchased it instead of the contractor, but it's in the contract that they were gonna purchase it because we got that price. So we just paid them to install the two of them. So it's a $0 change order cost because now their labor is gonna cover the cost. I think the award of the engineering to do the local rec grant is self-explanatory, and then to actually go out for the local rec grant, self-explanatory. Are there any other questions on the consent agenda?
So the grant, this is the application at this point, so we're making sure nobody gets their hopes up just yet, we're just making an application for the grant, the money's not secured at this point, we're trying to follow.
Exactly, they are putting in the grant on Tuesday, the 27th, I wanna say it is. I'm going to do another blast around the socials and collecting paper surveys that were done, and then put out a top line report so that Kelsey has that so that she can fold that into the application.
And for the business district, that's the same firm that was for the area unit redevelopment, correct?
For hiring group.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, great, so there's no need to get them up to speed, they're very familiar with the area.
Oh, absolutely.
Great.
Any other questions? Okay, then I will offer the consent agenda.
Second.
Councilmember Cervantes.
Yes.
Councilman Gilat.
Yes.
Councilman Melnick.
Yes.
Mayor Bulan.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt resolutions R-24067 through R-24075. Next, we have reports.
The only thing I wanted to mention is that the grammar school is having their annual turkey tray on March 7th. So if you're feeling lucky, go over to the school and bring your goodies, and it's seriously, it's a lot of fun. So that's the only thing that I had to.
That's at the elementary school?
Elementary, yeah, on March 7th.
That's substantial.
No,
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 not
really?
really, not,
look
no.
at us. We've got
Yeah.
nothing to report. I'll have my full-blown monthly report at the next council meeting. So with that, the public portion statement, please.
Individuals wishing to address the council shall be recognized by the presiding officer and shall give their name, address, and group, if any, they represent. Although the council encourages public participation and reserves the right, through its presiding officer, to terminate remarks to and or by any individual not in keeping with the conduct of a proper and efficient meeting. If any individual refuses to conduct themselves in a proper manner, they will be removed from the meeting. The council will not, during the public portion of the meeting, discuss matters involving employment, appointment, termination of employment, negotiations, terms and conditions of employment, evaluation of the performance of, promotion or discipline of any specific or prospective or current employee. There's a 3-minute time limit.
Mr. Dorn?
Yes, good evening. Joseph Dorn, 102 Valley Avenue. I guess I'm gonna be here every 2 weeks or so, and until we find some resolution to the problem behind my home with regards to the 14-32 North Beach Street project. As long as this continues the way it is, my property remains vulnerable to future storms, to runoff and silt. That's my concern at the moment. In the short term, that it's not adequately secured. I was in touch with Freehold Soil a couple weeks ago. He did come down last week. I wasn't there. I asked him to call me so I could show him what my concerns were. But he just showed up and I wasn't home. But I did speak to him afterwards. He told me he wasn't able to get a hold of Mr. Farku. I don't know if anybody's been in contact with Mr. Farku in recent months. I haven't heard anything back from Steve Winters yet. And I just want to know, is the town going to be able to try to do something to compel Mr. Farku to at least securely, at least to secure the hill properly, so that I don't have erosion, I don't have silt running down into my property. In the long term, something's going to be built there. Or maybe it's not. Maybe Mr. Farku has really abandoned the project.
I know that he is still incomplete from the land use board's perspective. The engineer, he actually just spoke on Tuesday morning with the land use board engineer, and they're deeming him incomplete again because he still has just not given enough. He's having his land surveyor ask engineering questions, which is not.
He had a land surveyor.
No, but I'm saying that a land surveyor is not equipped to answer engineering questions to the board and to the board's engineer. So they have taken his application and have said that you are not complete until you give us a list of things.
Right. That report goes back to August.
But I'm saying he keeps on trying to put something out there and have other people answer questions that are not qualified to give answers.
Right.
That I'm just giving you the latest update from
He's
Tuesday.
not providing the answers.
Well, he's not an engineer either, so he can't answer the questions.
Right. But he's not presenting the requirements that are being asked of him.
Exactly.
To go forward.
And for it, you're in the long run, which is being addressed by the land use board engineer and attorney are getting very close to, at the same time, fixing the tree ordinance and the slope ordinance, since they're pretty much interlocking.
Right.
So that would be the rule of law if he ever gets
This
his.
is going forward.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
we're trying to address the now and then at the same time.
Yeah, but the now is not going to be addressed by my concerns with what you're doing going forward, so the mechanism is in place so this doesn't happen again. So now that this has happened, how do we fix it? How do we, short of my going to a lawyer and to the courts, to compel the town, to compel Mr. Farku to follow its rules and regulations, is forgive me, but it seems absurd to me that I should have to go that route and spend $50,000 to $100,000.
I'm not an attorney, so I'm gonna.
This is my area of
There you go.
understanding, but I have questions that I don't think you're gonna be able to give me the answers tonight. So I think I'm gonna have to think about it after tonight. But my first thought is, you went to Freehold Soil and you complained? The soil people?
He's been, well,
Right.
they've been involved from the beginning.
Did you file a complaint with Freehold Soil Conservation District? Does that make sense?
I've been on the
They're the
phone.
people.
I've made emails to Freehold Soil, yes, I have.
And did they, I would have thought that because you reached out for them, and if this is as bad as you're suggesting it is, that they could have issued some kind of violation to this person for not complying with their rules.
Correct. We've been trying to get that done.
But they haven't done that.
No, he hasn't done it. All he does is come out there. This is going on for 2 years.
And the
I
second,
don't know what your position is.
I'm the attorney, I'm substituting tonight as the attorney for the council.
Oh,
Okay. But I teach zoning to everybody in the state.
Okay.
So,
So this is a project that started in 21.
I know, I'm trying to get you a shortcut.
Okay.
The second thing that we have to think about is, do we want to become, does most towns, I'll use it generally, most towns
don't want to use the resources of their own lawyers to solve these kind of problems. But we could. In other words, we could go in and get a restraining order. In other words, our planning people are doing their job day to day, but they're not solving this because it's not emergent, and they can't do anything emergently. They're waiting for the process to proceed. They're probably hoping that he comes through for his application and that he does a few things that they're asking him to do in order to get the approval that he wants. But it's taking, as you've described it, 10 months. The question is, at what point do we think this impact on the community is great enough that we should go to court and get an order to show cause to get a judge to order him to stop the soil from eroding and going downhill? It's really a simple matter of doing something. I don't know, putting up a cloth. There are ways.
Well, it's a steep slope situation. There is a stop work order on the project.
But there's a
Dating
stop
back
work
almost
order,
2
but
years
the
now.
soil's still floating downriver, right?
Well, because he brought silt in on top. He added silt on top.
Someone, again, I don't want to know if he wants to spend money to do this, but one of the options that you have is for us to go visit a judge and say, this has got to stop now.
Okay.
And if it's bad enough, I mean, it's going into other people's properties as well.
Yeah.
And do you have like photo evidence of all
Oh,
this?
yeah. I got pages.
We have,
I got a whole file. The town has all the evidence.
I'm confident that everybody has done what they're supposed to do, and these things take a long time to get to this point. But then it gets to be like, how much patience do we have with somebody who's obviously not coming to the table?
Right. I mean, to reiterate, or to sound redundant over and over again,
What's the matter? You want to soil yourself, right?
the,
Sorry.
I don't have any other forum in which to come to voice my concerns, and everyone here knows I've been here.
I don't know, the other thing too is I don't know, when you're talking about, I don't know our ordinances well enough to know about the dirt coming off of one person's property and going onto another person's property.
That would be basically defined by the soil erosion permit that I'm assuming this person has obtained at this point in order to.
Let's assume they haven't obtained it. If you
If they haven't obtained it,
it's a
then
nuisance.
soil erosion won't issue a violation. That's where I'm still coming up to speed as well. In terms of, I don't know what approvals, because as long as it's still the land use board, I haven't reviewed anything for this project at this time.
It's
That's
not
the other thing
it's
to
not the
that's
land
the other
use
thing to
board.
understand too, is that one of the things that happens in the zoning world is when somebody goes to the zoning board, all enforcement operations stop. They're stayed pending the outcome at the zoning board. But if he's never presenting his case, at some point the land use board's gotta deny his request, dismiss his request, and that makes him available for punishment.
right.
He's not out of even the engineering department at this point. He hasn't even gotten to the land use board.
And there also must be, and I'd have to talk to our zoning officer, but there should also be, we must have regulations like maintenance of your yard.
Yes, and we
Maintenance
also have
regulations.
that you have to manage your own runoff and your runoff.
Right,
cannot
so
go on another
somebody's
person's
got,
property.
somebody's got to go back to the drawing board and look at this differently.
From a code standpoint, possibly.
From a code enforcement for, like whatever's, nothing should be coming off from your property onto another person's property. There's got to be a code violation somewhere in there,
Mhm.
that a violation that could issue. But the point is, even if we do that, it's going to continue, the dirt's going to continue to flow while this is pending in municipal court. That's why sometimes, again, this is something that you should take under advisement. I'm not suggesting we take any action, I only have a few thoughts here, but
Right.
You know,
I agree.
Something that you had said was that the land use board could just not deny his application, but how can they deny it without hearing?
well, if
Or
he's never,
been
he's
just
got.
been so bad for 2
The way the
years.
procedure is you come in for an application, we have 45 days to deem you complete. If you come in and your application is not complete, we deny you. You don't get to the board until you have a complete application. Now, what we always do, every town, everywhere, is we're kind to those people. They're a little bit lost. We're trying to give them the opportunity to put their game together. So we hold them, but we don't have to hold them. In other words, our only job is to look at what they give us and respond within 45 days. They're not complete. Then we should be asking our zoning official to take action. In other words, they're going to say, well, we have an action pending before the board. In this case, that would be kind of like, that's what they're going to say, but they don't have a real one because they're not meeting the demands in order to be complete to get to the board. It's almost like it's a joke. It's a pretend situation.
They're in purgatory.
They're in purgatory. They want to be in
They don't have
purgatory.
to. They don't have a threat of action from the borough. They're not complete enough to
And
be
then-
by the land use.
And
They're in
then,
this ambiguous zone.
Right.
under normal circumstances, we don't care, but in this instance, it's having a negative impact on a neighbor, so we have to handle it differently. We have to be more proactive. I could discuss that with the land use board attorney,
Yes, please.
right? If I get one.
I'll- I'm sure Brian has his.
He's busy. When I call him, he's always busy.
Who, Brian?
Ron. Oh, no.
Oh, no, Brian Gerald, yes.
All right.
Just a brief comment. Thank you for your input, but he was denied in December of '21 on his application. This is over 2 years now. And he's reapplied and he's been denied several times. So this is not recent. This is not within the last year. This is within the last 2.5 years. And he's been deemed in violation of the steep slope ordinance by the engineering department.
What do you want to do? I know what to do. It's,
My council people?
what,
Are
I
we
don't
in
want to put
agreement?
you on the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, nail 'em.
Go
If you
ahead.
direct
As much so as
Exactly what you just said.
Are you
Nail 'em.
directing us to take a look at this,
Yes,
and if
please.
necessary, can we file a notice with the court, a motion to?
Absolutely.
Is everyone's okay with that?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, we don't normally, and I'm teaching every town in the state, we don't normally encourage taking every single matter to court, because there's an expense to paying a
Oh, I
lawyer
understand.
to enforce that.
Understand.
But there's a point where if you're gonna look the other way and let people not do what they're supposed to do, then everyone starts doing, well, dirt falling all over the place. But I need the fog, the pictures, I need to see,
Oh,
I need to see how bad
I
it
think
is.
Andy has that, probably everything.
Okay.
And if not, we've got it.
Yeah,
And if they don't have it, I have it.
well, that's what I'm thinking. We must have a code violation here too that we're not, and it, when the property needs to be cleaned up, like,
It's probably, well, for Steve Winters,
maintenance,
yeah.
how's, there's the maintenance, like people's grass is too tall,
Right.
there are a couple, just.
Yeah, there've been some code violations, whether they're still
What
on.
I'm saying, in this situation, what I'm saying is, everyone is doing the right thing, they're just not doing enough to solve the problem. And this might be one in 100 shot that we might need to take a little extra action to get this guy's attention.
Okay, I appreciate whatever you can do, would be great.
And now you gotta be patient.
Well, the last meeting, I said that when this patience no longer is no longer a virtue. That's what
You
I
got
said.
your wish.
That's what I said at the
You
last
got your
meeting.
wish. I'm
When
here.
does
2 weeks
patience-
later,
When
now
does
we're
it
going to
become
court.
when does it become a liability? Patience.
You're here. You asked for help. I said I'm gonna help you. Let's get
It's a
it.
rhetorical question. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Council said we can help you. That's
Yes.
good.
That's good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay,
And it's 14 Peak Street?
14-32 North Peach Street.
Okay,
I live
Then-
alone too.
I will close public portion.
Executive session. Executive session will be held following the regular council meeting. Prior to each executive session, the Borough Council will convene an open session at which time a resolution will be adopted in accordance with NJSA 10:4-13. No formal action will be taken during executive session. Resolution to enter executive session. Be it resolved that the following portion of this meeting shall not be open to the public. Be it further resolved that private consideration is deemed required and is permitted because of the following noted exceptions set forth in the Act: PBA contract and potential litigation. Be it further resolved that it is anticipated that the matters to be considered in private may be disclosed to the public at a later date when the need for privacy no longer exists.
I'll make that offer.
Councilmember Cervantes?
Yes.
Councilman Chalak?
Yep.
Councilman Melnick?
Yes.
Mayor Bullen?
Yes.
Motion carries. Executive session entered in at 7:27.
I'll make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned at 8:27.